I've got no idea what I need to do for this one. I'm genuinely quite stumped.
The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it?
Maybe the body before the explosion?
If he did have that knife, but that seals it.
Just because I had the knife, that automatically made...
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her.
Damn it.
Right?
Shoot!
The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
If he did have that seals it. Just because I had the
Come on.
automatic...
Well, getting stabbed is what killed
Damn
her.
it.
Right?
Shoot!
The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one we gave.
It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
If he did have that seals it. Just because I had the knife, that automatic...
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her. Right? So there's
Was
no
it, though?
question. You took that knife of yours and killed her with it.
What a horrible man you are, Makoto.
The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
If he did have that knife, that seals it. Just because I had that automatic...
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her. Right?
I genuinely have no idea.
Shoot!
The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
If he did have that seals it. Just because I had that automatic...
Well, getting stabbed is...
There we go.
No, that's wrong. Wait, hold on. The stab wound isn't what killed Mukuro.
Oh.
That should be clear from the description of the cover-up we just heard.
Ah, yes.
Lies! We never talked about what killed her.
No, don't you remember? The killer covered the dead body with the tarp, and then put the bloody coat on it, right?
Right.
In other words, the victim never wore that blood-stained coat until after they were dead.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So what?
So, when we discovered the body, the knife had been thrust through the coat along with the body. Meaning, if she wasn't stabbed until the coat was put on, and she was already dead at that point, obviously the stab wound isn't what killed her.
Yeah!
Maybe you stabbed her twice. Once to kill her and once to cover it up.
But there's only one stab wound that we could see. I'm sure that's possible.
I got it!
Yeah.
The Monokuma file clearly states that there was only
One
one
stab
stab wound.
Oh yeah, it sure did. Totally forgot about that.
Then the knife...
Was just another piece of camouflage set up by the true killer.
Oh, ha, ha.
They probably stabbed her to draw attention away from what actually killed her. Exploding the body afterward was probably meant to do the same thing.
Yep.
The explosion severely damaged the body, making it impossible to know what really killed her.
Yep.
It was all the killer's attempt to destroy all evidence of their crime.
So they wanted us to notice the stab wound and then detonated the body afterward.
Yes.
They meant for us to latch onto the knife as the cause of death, then destroy any evidence proving otherwise.
Clever.
Oh, hey,
Very
I have a
clever.
question. It kind of goes back to the beginning,
But?
what's the deal with that explosion anyway? Why'd the body just blow up all of a sudden like that?
The bomb from the
If you
Monokuma
bothered
doll.
to put that lump of gray matter between your ears to use, you'd know the answer.
Stop being condescending,
You're so
Byakuya.
smart. Just tell me.
I'll tell you. I bet some unknown quantum particle caused an atomic level spontaneous combustion.
Stop throwing around words you don't understand.
I might be dumb, but even I'm not dumb enough to believe that.
Go ahead, Makoto. Tell her or we won't make any headway on
You tell her. Okay. So the fragments near the body?
I got it!
Yeah!
after the explosion, we found a tiny fragment of something on the ground near the body, right?
Didn't look tiny to me.
That fragment reveals the cause of the explosion.
Huh? You know, I feel like I've seen something like it somewhere before.
That's
Apparently.
only natural. Because, of course, we saw the same thing when we dismantled Monokuma. It's part of a bomb.
Oh! Then the explosion was because of the Monokuma bomb.
Anyway, the culprit's motive is becoming more and more obvious by the minute.
Okay.
They wanted the knife wound to look like the fatal injury so that we'd suspect Makoto.
Yes.
And the only one who would benefit from that
Is
is the
Kyoko.
only other possible suspect. You, Kyoko.
Hold on a second, Byakuya.
What's the problem?
Well, I just feel like we need to think this through. We still don't know what actually killed the victim.
This is true.
That's true. It's definitely bugging me. What really killed her?
Fine. I have no problem with that. Let us continue the debate.
Yeah, hopefully we'll
It won't
find out.
change the facts of the case regardless.
So what ultimately killed the victim needs to concentrate. It was mentioned in the Monokuma file, wasn't it? It was the blow to the head. Yeah, Monokuma file number 5.
Then, shall we continue the debate?
Yes.
The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
Well, yes.
And it wasn't because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body. Then, shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure.
All right, so
Well, yeah.
And it wasn't because of them. There's only one other
Oh, yeah.
okay.
That's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
Nail the back of the
The
head.
victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire
Come on.
Then, shall we continue
the debate.
The victim's fatal injury has yet to be.
It was the hit on the back of the head. Yeah. Didn't take any damage on that one.
Mukuro died because of the blow to the back of the head she suffered.
Yeah.
What about the wounds all over the rest of her body? They didn't have anything to do with it?
The Monokuma file makes it clear that those weren't fresh wounds.
And being Mukuro, she would be injured and have previous injuries from her time in Fenrir.
Oh yeah, good point. If they were old, I guess they don't really matter.
Okay, then we're safe in assuming the blow to the back of her head is what killed her.
Yep.
Then, what was the murder weapon?
The Monokuma file says she was hit with a blunt object, about as thick as a metal pipe.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet it was the pickaxe.
But it wasn't.
How is that even possible? If you hit someone with that, it'd cave their skull in completely.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they held it the other way and hit her with the handle.
No way! The balance would be all off. You wouldn't be able to swing it with any kind of power.
And how do you know this?
I wouldn't mind testing it on you if you want.
No thanks. I bet you just hit me with the metal end and call it an accident.
Yeah.
I'd love to scoop out that nasty brain of yours, throw it on the ground, and spit on it.
I feel the same way. Looks like we're on the same page this time.
Okay.
We want to figure out what killed her.
Weird.
right? It just so happens we already know.
We do.
You
we do.
already know? I knew we could count on you, Master.
So
Okay.
what was it?
Go ahead and tell them, Makoto. Surely you've deduced the real murder weapon?
Yeah, one of those arrows.
I got it!
Backwards, full health.
Mukuro was hit in the back of the head with something. And that's what killed her.
Pop the light on. Get a bit too dark now.
And that something was the titanium arrow we found in the locker in the dojo.
Whose key was in Kyoko's room.
Arrow. That's what the culprit attacked Mukuro with?
Indeed. There's no doubt about it.
Are you sure? That sounds kinda weird.
Hey! How dare you backtalk, Master? You have no right!
Because the titanium, they're very strong.
I'm just saying what I think.
Because there's one more thing about that weapon. One more secret. Okay.
The titanium arrow. It was in the dojo locker, right? I have no doubt that was the murder weapon.
Are you sure?
You don't sound convinced. What's the problem?
Well, because in the Monokuma file, it said the weapon must have been about as thick as a metal pipe, right? It seems like an arrow would just be too thin.
Talking back to Master! You have no right!
The titanium arrow.
Wouldn't that be a
It was in the dojo locker, right?
chance?
I have no doubt that was the murder weapon.
Are you sure?
You don't sound convinced.
I've been recording for like an hour and a half now.
Well, 'cause
And my
in
chair
the
keeps moving
Monokuma
around all
file,
over the
it
place.
said the
That's the thing
weapon
about having a
must have been
hardwood
about as thick as a metal pipe,
floor.
right? It seems like an arrow would just be too thin.
Damn it.
Shoot!
The titanium arrow. It was in the dojo locker, right?
I have no doubt.
Are you sure?
You don't sound
Well, 'cause it said the weapon must have been about as thick as a metal pipe, right?
Yeah.
It seems like an arrow would just be
Damn
too
it.
thin.
Shoot!
Come on.
The titanium arrow. It was in the dojo locker, right? I have no doubt that was the murder weapon.
Are you sure?
You don't sound convinced. What's the problem?
Well, 'cause in the Monokuma file, it said the weapon must have been about as thick as a metal pipe, right? It seems like an arrow would just be too thin.
Actually, yeah, too thin. That'd be a
Back to Master!
good
You
one.
have no right!
Yeah, because that might... Because it's too thin. I mean, I know it's strong, but...
It was in the dojo locker, right? I have no doubt that was the murder weapon.
Damn
Are
it.
you sure?
You don't sound
Well, it said the weapon must have been... It seems like an arrow would just be too thin. Talking back to...
Yeah. Come on.
The titanium, it was in the dojo.
I have no doubt that was the murder weapon.
Damn it.
shoot!
The titanium arrow. It was in the dojo locker, right? I have no doubt that was the murder weapon.
Are you sure?
You don't sound convinced. What's the problem?
Well, because in the Monokuma file, it said the weapon must have been about as thick as a metal pipe, right? It seems like an arrow would just be too thin.
Ah, that was it. Bloody duct tape. Got it in the end, at least. It's far
You're
too
right.
warm.
Just the one arrow would have been too weak. That's why the killer
Oh,
used
they
another
bundled
weapon.
them up.
Another weapon?
Inside the dojo locker, we also found a balled-up wad of duct tape. The killer probably uses duct tape to bind multiple arrows together. Bundling them together using the duct tape would easily create a single weapon as thick as a pipe.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what the killer did.
It's similar to Aesop's fable about the bundle of sticks.
Oh.
One stick is weak, but put them together, and they become strong. It's meant to teach cooperation.
Oh, hey, it's you.
That's harsh.
How is it harsh? Are you even listening?
Anyway, that explains the murder weapon.
Nope.
As for who the culprit is that stashed the weapon in the dojo locker, it was you, Kyoko.
I've never been to the dojo.
That's a lie.
Oh no, you absolutely have.
How can you say that with such confidence?
Because we found the key in her
We have
room.
proof, of course. Don't we, Makoto? What's the matter? Surely you don't intend to protect a murderer. You know what will happen if you do, don't you? If you cover for the culprit, there's only one thing that can lead to
Everyone's
the
dead.
death of us all. Remember?
Of course I remember.
Then show us. Show everyone the evidence that proves Kyoko went to the dojo.
Okay. Have evidence? So Kyoko went to the dojo. The wood block keys.
I got it! The one thing that proves Kyoko was in the dojo is right here. The key to the dojo locker.
And how does that prove anything?
Because I found it in your room.
It was in my room?
Don't bother trying to play dumb. That key is just the final piece of the puzzle.
Ho-ho.
Your non-existent alibi, your clear motive, your attempts to frame Makoto for the crime. This all proves that you are the true culprit. You can't explain this away, so just give up.
Hold on a second.
Oh?
Not this again. You really are dead set on defending her, aren't you?
Yeah.
No, it's not that I want to defend her. It's just, there's one more thing I need to ask her.
Okay.
Kyoko, I want you to tell me something. Last night, you were in my room, weren't you? Why? What were you doing there? That's what I need to know.
I was just protecting you.
Wait, what?
What?
She's protecting me? Does that mean she knew I was being attacked? And she came to my rescue? Could that be when... You mean that Kyoko, she killed someone for me?
That's enough. The time for idle chatter is over. A verdict is close at hand.
Wait, I'm warning you. Don't make this mistake. I'm not the killer.
I knew you were stubborn, but this is just getting ridiculous.
Okay.
Really? But you should know better than anyone I didn't do it. Can you tell me I'm wrong?
I should know.
Oh. You should know better than anyone? What does that mean? Is it because he had her key?
Those words you just spoke. What do you mean?
Exactly what I said. I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than anyone here.
Byakuya, what are you hiding?
Master would never hide something from me!
Yes, he would.
There's proof that you aren't the culprit. Is that what you're saying?
You stated a theory earlier. You said I hid the evidence of my crime in the dojo locker, and then left the locker key in my own room, correct? But could I really have done that?
No.
Those words you just spoke. What do you mean?
Exactly what I said. I'm not the killer.
Okay, but like, what can
You
I
should
use to do
understand
this?
that more than anyone here.
Byakuya, what are you hiding?
Master would never hide something from me!
There's proof that you aren't the culprit. Is that what you're saying?
There's proof, maybe? That's
You
the thing?
stated a theory earlier. You said I hid the evidence of my crime in the dojo locker, and then left the locker key in my own room, correct?
Damn it. Wrong way around.
Those words you just spoke. What do you mean?
Exactly what I'm not the killer.
You should understand that more than any—
Byakuya,
Master would never hide
Yes, he
there's
would.
proof that you aren't the culprit. Is that what you're saying?
You stated a theory earlier. You said I hid the evidence of my crime and then left the locker key in my own room, correct? But
Could I really have done that?
No, she couldn't have, because
Those
Byakuya
words
had
you
the
just
key.
spoke.
what do you— Exactly what I said. I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than anyone here.
Byakuya, what are you...
Master would never hide something from me!
There's proof that you aren't the culprit.
Yep.
No, that's wrong.
There is proof. Kind of.
If I'm right, Kyoko wouldn't have been able to get into her room
Yep.
Why not?
because she had given her room key to Byakuya.
Yep.
I see. So that's what you meant. And if I had the key to your room,
Then obviously I had no way of getting in.
Yep.
Without my room key, I couldn't have possibly put the locker key in there myself. Am I wrong?
True.
would appear not.
Yeah.
Then you're finally starting to understand.
No, that's not actually true. There was a clear contradiction in what Kyoko just told us. An obvious lie. But this just isn't like her. Trying to save herself with such a desperate lie. Does she really feel that threatened? Because she's the killer? Or is it something else? Was there some deeper meaning hidden in what Kyoko said earlier? You wrote for me and I die here, the mystery of this school will stay hidden forever. Oh, is this the turning point? Is this the point where it goes either way? Trap the mastermind. Mastermind's trapped. The mastermind's trying to trap Kyoko, but what if that's not really true? What can I do? What should I do? Should I... The mastermind's trapped? Victim was Mukuro, and Kyoko killed her? What does Kyoko really know? What am I supposed to do? Kyoko's lie. I'm the only one who knows it's a lie. The only one who can expose it. But who can I trust? What am I supposed to do? The mastermind's trap. Spend all your time trying to avoid danger and you'll never move forward. We know the danger, but if that risk means solving the mystery, we have no choice. Am I wrong? What do I do? To decide right here and right now whether or not to expose Kyoko's lie. This is the moment, everybody. This is the moment. And I'm gonna let it go. I made my decision. To believe in Kyoko. There's no way she would kill someone. There has to be some secret here. Something that has to do with the mastermind's trap that Kyoko mentioned.
Well, does no one have a rebuttal? Have you decided to accept her assertion as fact? I see. So you still refuse to accept it. I suppose we have to admit that Kyoko didn't put the locker key in her room. That it was someone else.
But who else could it have been?
Us.
I mean, Byakuya had a room key, right?
You! What are you trying to imply?
But of course, I have an alibi. From nighttime on, I was with you guys the entire time.
Yes.
I couldn't possibly have killed anyone, or put the key in Kyoko's room.
Well, someone had to put the key in there.
There's only one other possibility I can think of. Someone could have had the key on them, then once they arrived at the scene, pretended to find it there.
It's us.
It had to be Makoto, right?
I don't see any other option.
Wait a second. You've got it all wrong. Let's think about it one more time. There's gotta be a hidden side to this case.
Huh? A hidden side?
First of all, there's something off about this entire trial. You all see it, don't you?
Yeah, there is.
Mukuro, who we didn't even know existed, suddenly shows up dead. And then we're thrown into a trial. And Kyoko even said, it's a trap the mastermind set for us. So that's why this has to be...
Okay, time's up!
Of course you interject here.
Time's up! Class trial's all over! Everyone can stop talking now!
What? Time's up?
What do you mean time's up? There's no time's up. Since when have we...
It's because you were late, so we had to push back the start time. So then, it's time for voting time, okay? Everyone, please vote using the lever in front of you!
Voting time?
Uh-oh. That's not good. That is not good.